This is Michael Popok, Legal AF. If you were on the fence about whether Donald Trump was a racist and anti-Semitic, you can come off the fence now. You woke up to his social media postings going after Governor Josh Shapiro of Pennsylvania, not because he didn't like the content of his remarks at the DNC. I guess that would be legitimate, but calling him the Jewish governor of Pennsylvania. That's interesting. If you didn't think Donald Trump's campaign had sunk low enough, he's sunk, and now he's starting to dig. And he's going after the ethnicity and the Jewish affiliation of a rising star in the Democratic Party. So I guess to Donald Trump, I'm a Jewish podcaster and lawyer. Why is he calling him the Jewish governor? Because Donald Trump has a weird relationship, he believes, in his own mind with Israel. In particular. And he has claimed that he is the greatest friend to Israel and that the other side is completely anti-Semitic. He's gone as far as to say that Kamala Harris was anti-Semitic because she exercised her independent judgment, her independent decision-making to bring Tim Walz on as her vice president. And even though Josh Shapiro was on the shortest of short lists, that was her prerogative. That was her decision. And it made perfect sense for Kamala Harris, who will be the president of the United States, to pick who she wants. And the best training academy is 2 terms as a governor. The best training academy for presidency and vice presidency is 2 terms as governor and 17 years in the halls of Congress. And that's Tim Walz. I like Josh Shapiro, but I think he's slightly too young for the job, especially under Kamala Harris. I think Tim Walz is perfect. That was her decision. And for Donald Trump to get up on some sort of moral high horse and accuse Kamala Harris of being anti-Semitic? Okay, wait a minute. Who's going to tell Donald Trump that his vice president is not Jewish? Where's the Jewish person in authority, in a command position in the Trump world? Who is that person? His vice president is Shady Vance. Before him, Mike Pence. Shady Vance practices Hinduism with his wife. Mike Pence is a Christian nationalist. So when he had the chance to pick up a Jewish person, did he pick Elise Stefanik? No, he did not. And so now he's going after Josh Shapiro, not just because he doesn't like Josh Shapiro, not just because Josh Shapiro is a better debater than he is, because he's Jewish. I mean, it's just galling to me that there are people in the Republican Party that believe this stuff that Donald Trump is saying about himself. He said in the same mean tweeting, he started with, the highly overrated Jewish governor of the great Commonwealth of Pennsylvania, Josh Shapiro, made a really bad and poorly delivered speech talking about freedom and fighting for Comrade Kamala Harris. Now he's settled on this comrade thing, as if people understand. The only one who's close to Russia and Putin, who would deserve the comrade title, is right there. Talk about projection in Donald Trump. He continued to claim that Harris hates Israel. Where is there any indication that Harris hates Israel? Everything that's going on right now in the Middle East is under the approval, ultimately, of the Biden-Harris administration. Let's be candid about that. And at the end, it will fail. Yet Shapiro, Trump continues, for strictly political reasons, refuses to acknowledge that I'm the best friend that Israel and the Jewish people ever had. I've done more for Israel than any president, and frankly, I've done more for Israel than any person, and it's not even close. Shapiro has done nothing for Israel and never will. I don't know what he's talking about. But Josh Shapiro had a good comeback for that. Let's go to Josh Shapiro's response to being attacked by Donald Trump about him not doing enough for Israel or in an anti-Semitic fashion. Let's go.
What's your reaction to Donald Trump saying that it's anti-Semitic to have you not be the vice president?
Look, all right. First off, Donald Trump is the least credible person to listen to when it comes to hate and bigotry and certainly anti-Semitism. Let me also be very clear here. Anti-Semitism played absolutely no role in my dialogue with the vice president. Absolutely none. It is also true that anti-Semitism is present in our Commonwealth, in our country, and in some areas within our party. And we have to stand up and speak out against that.
Now, look, to paraphrase Michelle Obama, we know that Donald Trump is a racist. We know he sees the world in black and white, and he sees color. We know that he's driven crazy by the fact that a diverse, ethnically and otherwise diverse Kamala Harris is going to win the presidency over him, right? Just as Barack Obama drove him crazy when he was president. I know this is driving him over the edge, if we ever thought there was an edge with Donald Trump. But for him to come out and call somebody names by their religion sends a chill down my spine. Where are we, in Nazi Germany? There are 365 days in a year, which means there are 365 days when you might need to buy someone a birthday present. And finding the perfect gift for everyone, oh, that could take weeks. Why not simplify the process with an Aura digital picture frame? Ranked the #1 digital picture frame by Wirecutter, Aura frames are easy to set up, update, and enjoy. Plus, Aura frames can be preloaded with photos and gift messages. So whether you're giving the frame to your best friend, your dad, or let's say your Aunt Susan, you can be sure your gift is personalized just for them. My wife and I have 3 Aura frames for our home and my office, and we have gifted preloaded Aura frames to family abroad and my mom in Georgia. My mom and our overseas family may be thousands of miles away in distance, but they're always in our heart. And with our newborn daughter, my wife and I couldn't think of a better way to keep our geographically distant family close and update each of them with the baby's developments than by loading their Aura frames daily with photos and videos of her development and joyful playtime. That's why we love Aura. It took only about 2 minutes to set up a frame using the Aura app. And Aura frames have meticulously calibrated high-resolution displays. Unless my mom looks really closely or sees photo transition, she'd never know it's a screen. Every Aura frame comes with unlimited storage, so you can preload the frame with as many photos as you want. All you need is the free Aura app and a Wi-Fi connection. Right now, Aura is having their very first friends and family sale. And we've got an exclusive offer just for our listeners. For a limited time only, you can get $35 off their best-selling frame by visiting auraframes.com and using the promo code LegalAF at checkout. That's AURA frames.com, promo code LegalAF. This is the best offer of the season, so don't miss out. Terms and conditions apply. Where are we in the 1930s and 40s in America? You know, where there was a rise of the American Nazi movement? Is that where we're at now? We now call people out the black governor, the Jewish this, really? I mean, I thought, to paraphrase Michelle Obama, isn't that pretty small? Isn't that pretty unprecedented? And who's gonna tell Donald Trump that one of those black jobs that he's going for is the presidency? And for him to come out now swinging like that, I mean, I know why. Let's play a clip of Josh Shapiro in the DNC with his attack on Donald Trump.
Kamala Harris, well, she has spent her entire career making progress. Donald Trump, a man with no guardrails, wants to take away our rights and our freedoms. And listen, while he cloaks himself in the blanket of freedom, what he's offering isn't freedom at all. Because hear me on this, it's not freedom to tell our children what books they're allowed to read. No, it's not. And it's not freedom to tell women what they can do with their bodies. And hear me on this, it sure as hell isn't freedom to say you can go vote, but he gets to pick the winner. That's not freedom.
All legitimate. But to wake up this morning to a middle of the night, midnight rant of Donald Trump that it is overtly racist, overtly anti-Semitic, is just beyond the pale. And the good news is the American voter is seeing right through it. I mean, there's only 2 ways that the American voter can demonstrate where their minds and hearts are at the present moment. One is how much money each candidate has raised. And by that measure, Kamala Harris is wiping the floor with Donald Trump. Her and the PACs are up to almost $500 million. Donald Trump is struggling with about $150 to $180 million. Look at the money gap. That's how people are voting right now until November 5 and until early voting and the rest. And the other way is the turnout for these for these conventions. Look at the numbers. The TV ratings for the Democratic National Convention are off the charts. They're almost double what the Republican National Convention got. And that's after Donald Trump did his whatever he did in Butler, Pennsylvania, whatever that bounce was. And after he got a judge in Florida to dismiss the Mar-a-Lago indictment. That was the best moment in Donald Trump's life. And he polled about half the viewing audience of what's happening with the Democratic side right now. People are enthusiastic. They're energized. Joy has returned to campaigning and to being an American patriot on the Democratic side. And every time we're reminded of J.D. Vance going after women mercilessly, going after Tim Walz and the fertility decisions of his wife, the most personal of decisions about having children. Every time you wake up to Donald Trump spewing venom, spewing anti-Semitism, calling somebody Jewish as a 4-letter word and as a criticism, you know what to do in November. You know what to do in November 5. Even before that, early voting starts in a few weeks in a lot of states. Rack it up now for Kamala Harris and Tim Walz so that the margin of victory in states, including the battleground states, is so great. It's such a crushing defeat and rejection of Donald Trump and of MAGA that they'll never recover, right? Break them apart, destroy them at the voting booth. That's the only way to do it. The money is great. 3 times as much money for Kamala Harris. And look at the flip in the polls. Women are voting in droves for Kamala Harris. She's getting 16, 18, 20% swings in the women vote where it matters, in battleground states, right? And of the non-white vote, we got to run up the totals in the non-white vote, in the women vote, in the under 45-year-old vote to compensate for the old white guys that Donald Trump has. That's how it works. I don't want to win by 10,000 in battleground states. I want to win by 250,000. I want to leave no doubt of a resounding defeat and crush of Donald Trump in the voting booths. That's not the weaponization of anything. That's America democracy at its best and a constitutional republic that we're trying to save right here on the MeidasTouch Network and on Legal AF. Join me on Wednesdays and Saturdays at 8 p.m. Eastern Time. There it is, where we record on this YouTube channel, Legal AF, at the intersection of law and politics, and then on audio podcast platforms of your choice. And until my next hot take, until my next Legal AF, this is Michael Popok reporting. Heary, heary, Legal AF Law Breakdown is now in session. Go beyond the headlines and get a deep dive into the important legal concepts you need to know, and we discuss every day on Legal AF. Exclusive content you won't find anywhere else, all for the price of a couple of cups of coffee. Join us at patreon.com/legalaf. That's patreon.com/legalaf.